Hello everyone, welcome back. It is I, your friendly neighborhood Prax. Welcome to the channel. I'm daytime streaming. I am looking forward to building some more of my world setting campaign that we will be starting the game July 30th. I cannot wait. I am so looking forward to it. Getting messages from my players is the first thing I opened up this morning of like, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Thanks, guys. You make me up. Help me get there. Make life easy. Make me feel hype. But how are you doing? How are we feeling? Are we feeling hype? What are we feeling hype about for yourselves today? I should ask that question, like, right? I should ask, what are you feeling hype about? Because we know what I'm feeling hyped about. What are you all feeling hype about? Do. Oh, I'm gonna need that. Gonna need that open so that I can talk to you all and encourage you and welcome you into the fun that will be had. I think we will be building some more characters today. We have to do the orcs, halflings, and dwarves, and then we have the city-state of Uraba, which are the last bastion of the elves. So we've got a lot we could get started on. We're probably not going to finish it all today because I'm not going to go for like 18 hours. I'm not crazy yet. But I'm going to work on some... First of all, stay hydrated. Second of all, I should... Oh wait, I was going to do a thing. I know what I'm doing. Haha. I know what I'm doing. I'm adding a thing that you guys... Where'd it go? Ah, donation goal. Here we go. So I'm starting an art fund to try and build up the art for these characters and possibly get some art for some of the other games that we run. Hello Trig, welcome in. So you can see that we now have the art goal is live. Trying to raise some funds for that so that we can buy some art for character creation and you know, help support. Also, Trig, thank you so much. I saw that beautiful map that you're working on. I really appreciate the effort that you do. If you end up watching this on YouTube, everybody, I will have posted on my Twitter at @DeirdreDonlin a link where you can find the map that Trig is making. Also, the map that you see on the stream is done by my player Tall Squall. So I'm getting multiple maps done, and we all appreciate them because we recognize that my skills as an artist are limited. Very limited. I acknowledge this. Like, yarn and a hook and a crochet hook, I'm okay. Kitchen, okay. Hello, welcome in, Pope. I'm glad you're having fun with it. Like, my skill... and admittedly part of it's drawing. I don't have any skill or real knowledge on how to draw on a computer system. On like a flat, on paper, I'm pretty good at orientation sketch drawing. Artists, you know, not an artistic rendering, but orientation sketching for archaeological digs, for cartography, orientation, those I can do, but yeah, yes, I did this with a mouse. I did do this with a mouse. It is not my skill set, but I tried. There's a big I tried over all of this. But yes. So we are today picking back up with our further character creation. And I'm liking this. I'm liking that we're doing like these NPC builds because, oh wait, that's the other thing I should do. Hold please. I need to add a thing. Nope, you don't need to see that. You can look at my pretty map instead. Well, what I'm doing is I've started the NPC doc for this game. And I'm so looking forward to doing this for you. And I'll even be more specific in my command this time. Want to check out the dramatis personae of the world of Gavia and the nation. Here are all the known NPCs. And then I can share the existing doc with you. I think that works, right? Not that one. You don't get that one. That one is my version. Sorry, guys. Cool. There we go. So now that command is created, which means I can, if you watch this live, you can click in chat and see the current existence of the doc. There we go. I'm feeling like that's an important thing. Now I also had to keep this open so that we'll have the polls. But I'm liking this kind of back and forth we've been doing. I like the way we're working to build NPCs together, and then at the same time answering any questions about the world as in general or known information that you may have. It gives me a lot of fun, and it helps me talk through things that I know but perhaps need a sounding board to express in some cases. I like that kind of balancing and chatting with people. Also, hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave me a comment. I'll respond over there too. And if you didn't know, well, now you do. So, we are done with the major players for Saling, Tenerique, Wallaba, Cortel, Varum, Novigur. But now we've got the orcs, the 4 orc tribes, and the 3 halfling tribes, or 3 halfling varieties, and orcs, dwarves, halflings, elves. Wow, that's a lot, right? So where should we start, I guess is the question. I should post a poll, right guys? I should put a poll up. So we're gonna poll the audience, and it's gonna be orcs, Halflings. Dwarves. And I'm going to start that poll, and we're going to decide where we go from there. Because we're going to end with the start poll. There we go. We're going to end with the elves. I figure elves will be the very last thing we do because they're complicated and fun. They're going to be a lot of fun. So, orcs, halflings, dwarves. We need a vote to see where we go. Trig says, has a question. I have a question. Why was this continent not explored before the Sundering? Did they know that it existed? Trig, they generally knew the existence of the continent wasn't, like, it was known, and that's why when the Sundering occurs, there's this vast migration. But at the same time, it's 2,700 miles at the shortest point from the continent to roughly, because, you know, it's about 3,000 miles of ocean. And it was not needed. The Empire of Arabia existed, was stable, had, was a fully functioning major arcane society, and allowed for a lot of benefit for the population. And there was no real need for expansion at that point. A couple of people at the research university in the capital had proposed exhibitions and you know, to Endios, and even when the refugees arrive, they know that at some point this continent had been inhabited by other people. They'd found ruins, they'd found evidence of settlement, archaeological evidence, for lack of a better term, archaeological evidence of settlement, but they'd found no population. There was no sapient or sentient population living on Endios before the Sundering. Or at the time of the Sundering, I should say, is more accurate. Okay, well, we have a small problem here, everybody. We have a small problem. We currently have a tie. we have a tie. So somebody needs to add in a vote for a tiebreaker. I'll give it another 2 minutes. But yeah, so the continent was known. It didn't feel necessary for expansionist purposes at that time. The empire on Arabia, sorry, not Endios, Arabia, was stable, functional. There wasn't a need for there wasn't a proposed or seen need for colonization. There was no external resource requirement for expansion. There was no internal population reason for expansion. Exactly. It was far away, so if resources aren't scarce, there isn't as much need to explore. Yeah, and there was still places within their own continent that there were vastly unexplored. It wasn't like the full, it wasn't like everything was known about their own continent. So there was still places. The continents were huge and massive. And when I say, when I talk about this, the exposed map is about 7,000 square miles, 7,200 square miles, just going based on corner to corner measurements. Yeah. A little over 7,000 square miles, which is north-south, the distance between Canada and Brazil. So a massive north-south measurement. But there's also a whole bunch of stuff that's off the map to the west that people don't know about. Because there's a large forested area that's just kind of the western border that hasn't been explored beyond, further. So there isn't a push in that way either. So there's a lot that could be done. All right, I'm going to close the poll in 30 seconds. 30 seconds, and I will close the poll, and then we will not be able to vote. And we will probably, because people have voted, thank you people in chat for voting. Complete the poll, and the winner is Halflings. The Halflings won. Haha. They win something. So, we'll go with the Halflings. So now the next question is, do we want to, we could go, we've got 3 types of Halflings. We have the Godelia Halflings, the Elfrin Halflings, and the Sekeli Halflings. Do we want to start with Druids? West to East? I like West to East. I'll take that Pope. West to East. So we'll start with the Goadella Halflings, which are our Druid Halflings, which are in nominally tied to the government of Novigur, but Novigur is always kind of it's more a principality protectorate status. You know, they pay nominal taxes in the production of food to Novigur for protection from wild creatures or invasion. But for the most part, the Goadella Halflings just kind of live by themselves. No one wants to piss off too high a druid, and a lot of the wild of nature is kind of embraced in this area. Sorry. And you've got, and Fasti Tetu is the patron goddess. She is the goddess of nature, earth, stone, and the forge. She's very popular among the halflings, both the Goadella and the Elfrin halflings. She is a figure of both constancy and change, the way nature truly is. And there's benefit and harm, she's nature in all of its beauty and all of its existence. But the head, the nominal head of the Goadella Halflings, who function mostly as a collective, and small settlements, each of whom have their own ranking druid, and they kind of practice a sort of rotating apprenticeship programs where younger members of the settlements would be sent out to various other, fostering systems, to rotate out the young members of the population so that they would learn new skills and expand outward and, bond further with other members of the population and not become entirely isolationist into small villages. But the nominal head druid, that's who I think we're going to build next. So that's going to be our head druid. And we should go back and remember, we have to destroy everything about this character. Mwahahaha. They're definitely not noble anymore, but we'll come back to that. Alright. Race. We're gonna change the race because, they're not human anymore. They're halfling. Halflings. So... do we go... they are Lightfoot halflings. Because Lightfoot halflings are fun. For those of you who don't know, I have an entire collection of halfling characters that I play that are all sisters, all with a criminal background, that are all different classes. And, you know, those are my go-to D&D. A bunch of them are my go-to D&D one-shot characters because they're hilarious and I love them. So much so that you can't see it because I can't show it to you right now, but my wallpaper on my computer monitor is the 5 toss bottle sisters, done by the fabulous Matt Bat online. She did a beautiful group portrait for them, and they're absolutely gorgeous. So Lightfoot Halfling, they are a druid, and they're not multi-classing, they're straight druid. And they are a level 18 druid. We should roll abilities because that's where we're going to get messed up next. Okay, do we try rolling again in Roll20 or D&D Beyond? Let's try D&D Beyond and see what we get, and then if not, we'll go to Roll20. See, I rolled and I still ended up with point buy. I don't know how that happens. So we're gonna roll in Roll20. I'm just doing better at rolling in Roll20. Was chatting with Pope the other day, and Pope said he's stealing all my good rolls for D&D Beyond. I'm like, well, you know, they'll be beneficial to you if you want them. I'm sure they'll be helpful for a time. Wahahaha. But yes, you keep stealing my D&D Beyond luck. Well, that's not even any better. Well, actually, no, that's exactly within the standard deviation. There we go. That's better, though. Okay, so 16, 18, 13, 10, 10, 9. Okay, so 16, 18. So we know the 18 is going to be wisdom. We know... Let's go intelligence 16. 13, 10, 10, 9 or 10, did I have a 9? Cool. Beyond is still doing, yeah, Beyond is still doing the thing where it keeps ending up almost like it's standard deviation. Alright, so racial bonus to charisma is a +1. Racial bonus to dex gets you to 15. Alright. Class. Oh, we need to roll 18 or 17d8 plus 8. Roll 17d8 plus 8. 93. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, which is the total fixed value. Well, oh, that's actually pretty cool. So, above the average. Alright, so, proficiencies for this druid. Druid skill. I'm gonna go perception and survival. Which makes sense, right? They are the head druid for all of the halflings on this area. They get druidic. Wild shape. And now we get circles, right? So now we're into the circles of the druid. And Circle of the Shepherd might be an option. Circle of the Shepherd, or I was thinking Circle of the Land, Grassland, but let's try Shepherd. So you can speak with beasts, and you have Spirit Totem, nature spirits to influence the world around you. As a bonus action, you can magically summon an incorporeal spirit to a point. So you have spirit totems, guardian spirit, faithful summons. Circle of the Shepherd might be an option. Circle of Wildfire, what's that? Oh, Wildfire Spirit. I don't think that's the right one. Circle of Stars, that's... Oh, yeah, Starry Form. I'm thinking either Shepherd or Grassland. Bonus cantrip, Natural Recovery, Landstride, Nature's Ward. Faithful Summons is strong. Starting at 14th level, the nature spirit you commune with you commune with two Please, WotC, invest in an editor. Starting at 14th level, the nature spirits you commune with, comma, protect you when you are most defenseless. Investing in a comma isn't a hard thing. It's not going to go over your page limit. If you are reduced to 0 hit points or incapacitated against your will, you can immediately gain the benefits of Conjure Animals as if it was cast using a 9th level spell slot. It summons 4 beasts of your choice that are challenge rating 2 or lower. The conjured beasts appear within 20 feet of you. If they receive no commands from you, they protect you from harm and attack your foes. The spell lasts for 1 hour, requiring no concentration or until you dismiss it, an action required. Once you use this feature... I mean, that's actually pretty good. I think we'll go with Circle of the Shepherd. I think that makes sense. Now, Druids have the lowest amount of ability, one of the lowest amounts of ability score improvements. There's only 4. So, let's look at our abilities. We're gonna have to bump... I think we bump Wisdom on this first one to get it to 20. This second one here, I think we go 1 bump of Dex and 1 bump of Strength. Because that'll get you to a positive... Yeah. 10, 16, 10, 16, 20, 11. I think that works. That's a pretty good for our ruler. Then, what do we think about feats? Resilience? Somebody's recommending for strength. I don't think strength. Well, I don't know. I don't think resilient is where I want to go here. I think Spell Sniper could work. Spell Sniper could work. But it's like, I like looking at some of these feats and going, that's really interesting, but, you know... Yes, yeah, Spell Sniper for a druid would be really good. When you cast a spell that requires you to make an attack roll, the spell's range is doubled. Your range spell attacks ignore half cover and 3/4 cover. You learn one cantrip that requires an attack roll. Welcome in, Alex. Sorry, we're working on some character builds. Right now we're building the head druid of the Goadella Halflings, which are over here. They are well known for their druids, also for the cultivation of particular pepper that's found on this continent that is coveted for its healing properties and its spice flavor. And only these particular druids are able to cultivate it. So, Spell Sniper seems to be a good one to go with. And I think... let's go with Spell Sniper and Thorn Whip, because that could be really messed up. Like, you create a long, thin, like... So the standard range... the attack... make a melee attack against a target... but it doesn't give you the full range. I'll have to look at the actual spell to get the range. But the creature takes 1d6 piercing damage, and if the creature is larger, you know... well, it's moved closer to you. So we get Faithful Summons. Alright, and then we have one more ability score increase. And I don't think we need to up her abilities, their abilities. I haven't decided who they fully are yet. Kind of have an idea about them, but not fully formed. It's kind of like percolating in my brain. But I don't think... I don't think we need another ability score, so I'm going to take another feat. And I think... So Thorn Whip's normal range is 30 feet, doubling that to 60 feet. That would be dope. Durable could work. I think... yeah, I don't think skilled. I think instead... Perhaps... no, not Skulker. I'm gonna give them Warcaster. Because every caster should get Warcaster. At some point, right? You know. They are not, however, noble. So let's look at our options here. No, Sage, there you go. They have Dwarvish and Orcish, because that makes sense with the general, you know, who their neighbors are. They're a bunch of dwarves that live in these mountains, and the orcs are to their south. So Warcaster, Sage, equipment. Remove. Yeah, not that staff. You're going to get a staff, but not that one. Starting equipment. Simple weapon. Sickle. Here, look. I like the sickle. I think the sickle is fun. Scimitar. A wooden staff. Makes sense. Add starting equipment. Good. Fine. Now, other possessions. This is where we get to have fun. Armor. Magical armor that they can wear. Which is interesting that they no longer have the restriction, really, that a druid can only wear leather or hide armor. That's gone away. So is the fact that they could only have leather or hide or a wooden shield. Which I think is... I find it intriguing to me that they chose to do that, but I still embrace that tradition. But I'm going to give them specifically a particular type of yeah, and they get white. Yes, they're going to get white dragon scale armor. For reasons. Actually, no, they won't. No, they will, because for reasons they will. They and one other group of people have dragon scale armor. Let's give them something fun as a staff. Staff. I'm thinking like a thunder and lightning, or nope. A staff of serpent, like the python staff. Staff of the python is fun. There's staff of the woodlands. No, we'll give them the staff of the woodlands. Yeah, staff of the woodlands. What's a staff of withering? Is that gonna be good? Nah, staff of woodlands. It makes sense. +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls while you're wielding the staff, and then a +2 bonus to spell attacks. Yeah. Yeah. Because the python... Because there's the adder and then there's the python. They don't have the staff of serpents anymore. And the python just turns into a python. A giant constrictor snake that you control. And then the adder is the same thing. But the woodlands, you have the extra spells, plus it gives you a bonus to attack rolls. Yeah, they're getting the staff of the woodlands. And then I feel like they need something else. Something fun. Something unique that we haven't given anyone else yet. So perhaps... Welcome in, Hawkeye. We're working on building out our head druid from the Goadella Halflings. A Rod of Alertness? I mean... We've given a lot of people, like, Watchful Helms and, the Glaive of Warning. So... perhaps something different. Something different. Yeah, no, they're the head druid of the halflings. They're not really stealthy. They are well known. Wand of Paralysis? Maybe. Nature's Mantle. The cloak shifts color and texture, blend you into the drown. While wearing this cloak, you can use it as spellcasting focus for your druid or ranger spells. While you're in an area that is lightly obscured, you can hide. Nah. Paper bird? Oh, it's a messenger bird. Okay. Yeah, they have the armor, so maybe a Wand of Winter. I'm just looking at the Robe of Serpents. Look, a Robe of Serpents might be on point. Oh, the Wand of Winter would give them storms, you're right. Welcome in, Ice Bunny. We hope you're doing well. Oh, Bun, I'm sorry you're melting. Perhaps. Eagle Whistle. Eh. All of these interesting things, but like... things that I want to have for this particular character are kind of... interesting ideas. Do. perhaps we give them... Like, I'm almost want to give them a peregrine mask. Can you picture that? Like a tiny halfling with a peregrine mask. That they now have a flying halfling druid that doesn't require wild shape to fly at you. So that's an option. That's an option. Thorn Whip then drop, yeah. Because it would be 60 feet. You have a fly speed of 60 feet. And it pulls them 10 feet closer. Like, that would be cool. I think we're going to give our halfling druid the peregrine mask. There we go. Although we should look at the wand. You were saying the Wand of Winter? Looks like an icicle, 7 charges with the wand in hand. You can use an action to cast one of the following spells from the, even if you're incapable of casting a spell. Ray of Frost. Yeah. Yeah. I think I like the idea of the dragon scale armor, the peregrine mask, and the staff of the woodlands. Alright. Okay. Inventory. First, we have to attune to all of these things because it's going to affect some of the other things. Cool. Alright. So, now they have advantage against frightened because halfling. There are advantage maintain concentration and advantage against frightening breath presence and breath weapons because they have the dragon scale. Now their armor is a 17. They have advantage on initiative. They have disadvantage on stealth, but that doesn't really mean anything. Because I don't think that they really worry about being stealthy all that time. Although if they wanted to, you know, their stealth is not horrible. And they have resistance to cold. There you go. This is our wonderful halfling. We are going to build our halfling character. We need a name for our halfling, and this is where I go to the fantasy name generator and say that my Goadella halflings are using hold, please. I has it written down. I have the general linguistic inspirations for each of my creations. And the halflings are Frankish. Goadella. So Frankish names. Here we go. And now I want to make them well, Frankish names are French German ice bunny, so a little bit less than modern French, and they're closer to the German tribes that mostly Belgian. Southern Belgian and western northeastern France. The Franks are, you know, interesting group. I think and I like the idea of her being an older but not too old. Relatively young to her position, but, you know, respectable age for a halfling. So let's say 45, you know, middle-aged halfling woman. Let's see. I want something a little different. But still something I can say. That's the important thing. Whenever I create an NPC, you have to remember that you should take, this is my point about NPCs, is always embrace other cultures and other things to kind of like make your world more expansive and more lived in, but always make it something that have somebody say for you so you can pronounce it correctly, learn all of these things and give it flavor so that there's, you know, and don't be, you know, appropriative, but Reingart is interesting. Reingart could be an option. I don't know how to say this one. Regensund? Don't know. Strasbourg. Frederada. No. Lloyd. No. Mashka? Mashka is more Russian. Oh, can't you see them on the... Oh. Can you see where I'm on the... Here? On the, So... I've left that page behind, so I don't have that one in front of me. Brave, Bave, Brave, Bertrada, Sigebergis, Ingeborg, Ingeborg is always a fun one to say. Bertswinda. Ice Bunny's voting for Bertswinda. I like Ingeborg. Bertswinda might show up somewhere else, though. Yeah, Reagan's... Yeah, I think Trick is right. It was Reginsuint, and I acknowledge that I have never heard that pronounced in my life, so I would not be able to say it. Okay, so we're gonna vote. So I'm going to start this poll. I'm gonna get this poll together, and option 1 is gonna be Ingeborg, and I'm not gonna make you all type that out. So it's gonna be Ing. And then option 2 Oh, I like Rothade. Rothade? Rothade? So that's Roth. Is there a chance the NPC gets murdered? Perhaps. It depends on what the players do, you know? Um, I cannot always control what the players do. My players will perhaps do something. If you want them to be murdered, you need to talk to Pope or Lynn, who are both in chat. My intent is not, Pope says, my intent is to not murder unless necessary. I love that caveat there. The caveat is an important caveat. I think the last one we're going to put up is Gersvinda. There we go. Gersvinda. G-E-R. So I'm giving abbreviations for the vote. So the poll is going to have all three of these, and their options are Ingeborg, Gersvinda, and Rothede. And they have short, you don't have to type the whole name. They're just shortened forms. So it's ING for Ingeborg, Roth for Rothede, and GER for Gersvinda. And we'll let that run for about a couple minutes and see what people think. I'm liking this. This is fun. We're having fun, right? Hawkeye in with the first vote of the day. Gremlin says, I do not desire murder on any NPCs as of yet. That is fair. That is fair. Oh, you're gonna have to type exclamation point, and then the abbreviation. Or exclamation point vote, and then the abbreviation. Mind you, these are just the head, you know, most important people. There will be other people in this country that will perhaps be expanded upon. So let's give it another minute and a half, and then we'll see where we are for the vote on our druid leader of the Godella Halflings. They are a high druid, basically. You know, real high druid, level 18. Here, you know, a pretty respectable 93 hit points. You know, not great, but wild shape. That's why you have wild shape. That's why a druid has wild shape. Alright, we're gonna close the poll in 15 seconds. Yeah, I think Adelise would be an option for the Alfred Halflings more than the Godella Halflings. And now I'm closing the poll. And we're going to complete the poll. And the winner was Rothade. So, Rothade. They do not have a last name because reasons. Character sheet. create an NPC. Rothade. They are a halfling. Their armor class is a 17 because they have dope armor. 17 because they have dragon scale white armor. They have a movement speed of 25 feet because halfling. Oh, don't worry, Ice Bunny. We'll have plenty of time for you to post some random names for me. But they also have a fly speed because of their... Their flying speed is 60 feet. So here's a pretty strong option where they're probably going to spend more time flying than walking because their walking speed is 25 feet and their fly speed is 60. They've got, what are their stats here? We've got a 10 in strength, a 16 in dex, a 10 in con, a 16 in intelligence, a 20 in wisdom, and an 11 in charisma. You know, they don't have to be charismatic. They're halfling. So they got a +0 in strength save, +3 in your dex save, +0 in con, a +9 in their intelligence, a +11 in their wisdom, and +0 in their charisma. But they are resistant to cold damage. They don't have dark vision because they're halfling. Their passive perception is a 21, which is really good. Passive investigation is 13. And passive insight is a 15. They're spellcasting, they have bonus actions, they have reactions. Their spellcasting level is an 18. They cast with wisdom. Their spell save DC is what? 19. Yes, their save DC is very high. +13 is their attack. They speak Common, Druidic, Dwarvish, Halfling, Orc, and Sylvan. They are very well spoken. They talk to a lot of people. Oh, I should put their skills in. So it's a +3, +5, a +9 for Arcana because they know about shit. 0 +0. Yes, this is the very interesting part where I take what we built in D&D Beyond and import it into Roll20 so that I can have all of this character in Roll20 if for some reason my players need to meet them, or, you know, they want to fight. Oh, hello. Investigation is +3. Medicine is a +5. Nature is a +3. Perception is a +11. Performance is a +0. Persuasion is a +0. They have rule. Religion is a +3. Their sleight of hand is +3. Stealth is a +3. Survival is a +11. Good. They can be really beefy. In that. Alright, so features and traits. Here we go. It is an action for wild shape. Okay. I'm going to have to find all of the big animals and have character sheets for them. Although I think I have most of the compendium there, so it won't be that bad. Yeah, I don't... Oh, Speech of the Woods. She can talk to animals. Squeak and squawk in talk with the animals. So they can squeak and squawk and talk with me. Don't come after me, Disney. As a bonus action, Spirit Totem. Yes, the unicorn totem is really great, although I will probably have to reskin it because no one has seen a unicorn, ever. Whether they do or not is, know that they exist is a question. So, am I a forever, Alex Not Alright asks, am I a forever DM or do you enjoy playing as well? I do play. I do a lot of GMing. Most of what I do on my channel is GMing, but I'm currently in, on Wednesday nights we play, Zweihander, and I'm playing in that game, and so is Pope, actually. I get to play a Dwarven Artillerist in Zweihander. And, Dwarven Artillerist and effectively a sharpshooter we've discovered is what she is, because she is really good at sniping from a distance. And messing up the big bad's day, because yes, you may be a lich, and yes, I probably didn't permanently kill you, but I did shoot off half of your face and I feel better about life. But most of what ends up running on, I run on my channel are DMs. I DM. I enjoy it. I have a lot of fun. I like working with players to tell a story, and in this case, the world that we're going to be playing in and the game we're going to be playing is very much something that I've been wanting to play with for a long time in D&D. And I haven't played D&D in a while. It's been over almost 4 years. 3 years? Well, I played, so 2019. Yeah, 3 years was when last time I played D&D. And that was actually playing in Mage Hand Press's Dark Matter, which is D&D in space and is a lot of fun. Where am I at? So I get to do that. But I also like playing. I don't know. I'm one of those interesting people that I like both sides. So depends what I'm doing. Like, last night was a part 2 of session 0 for a thing that will be happening soon where I am a player that I am looking forward to and will probably be announced soon-ish. Also very excited for that game. But I'm also really excited for this. I'm very excited for this because I'm enjoying building on stream for a lot of this, or at least as much as I'm doing with my players here. And then but I'm also enjoying because I really enjoy the fact that I'll wake up at, to messages from my players about they had this brilliant idea. Can they do this with this work? How do we work with this? And I'm glad they're feeling excited about it. So, Alex says, I'm pretty new to D&D. I got into it watching people play online like maybe 3 years ago, but I've just recently decided I want to start playing myself. It is a lot of fun, and if you have the right crowd, it can be even better. And part of that is learning to play and just have fun. And recognize that every table is going to be different and every story is going to be different, and don't expect exactly what you see on X game for multiple reasons. It ends up being, and thing of each game is unique. And oh yeah, and they're a level 18 druid, which means they have timeless body. So you don't know exactly how old this halfling druid is. Because they only age, for every 10 years that pass, they only age 1. I'm glad you bought your first book! Yay! Welcome to the club. We don't have hats, but, we enjoy boosting each other. Oh yes. Halfling, which means they're lucky. Halfling luck. They get to reroll 1s all the time. Can we get that in IRL? I mean, we don't have hats. I can't get a hat. If I had a hat, it would, be a thing. They are brave, which means they have advantage on saving throws against being frightened. They are, come on, because Lightfoot halflings are dope. They have halfling nimbleness. Good. Sometimes, encouraging more people to participate in the activity and thing. Oh, wait, hold on. Can we get that? Oh, the ageless thing is what you want, Ice Bunny? I mean, I would love that. I would love that. They're also naturally stealthy. Which is why I didn't care if technically they have a disadvantage. Because they can hide. You can attempt to hide even if you're just standing behind a creature. It's one of the best things about being a halfling. You can stand behind another player and hide. Which is why halfling rogues are broken. in the best way. Good for you, Trig. Good for you for trying out being GM for the first time. I think that'll be good for you. And it's fun. You know, Gloomhaven is different, but this will give you... Oh, yes, Warcaster. Got advantage on con saves. You don't have to have a hand free. All these great things. Reaction to, Staff of the Woodlands. It is an attack. It is melee. It has a 5-foot reach. It to hit is a +8. And it does 1d8 +2 damage. Because, yes. I'm just gonna copy all of that so it's here. Cool. I can hide the text even better so that they don't see it, but I do. Alright, so let's test that roll. Make sure it rolls correctly, because that's been a problem before. Alright, Staff of the Woodlands. Duh! With the advantage there, you nat 1'd twice. I'm gonna re-roll that attack. That's much better. That's much better. For 4 damage. That's shitty damage, but it is a Staff of the Woodlands. So you know. It has spells. Roll20 chooses violence. Roll20 did choose violence. Roll20 did choose violence. Alright. So, actions. Wild shape. Put in bonus actions. Spirit totem. Put that in. Reactions. Warcaster. Warcaster reaction is best reaction. Because you can use your reaction to make an opportunity attack to cast a spell with a casting time of 1 action and targets only 1 creature. So you can... It doesn't have to be a touch. It is dope. Okay. Dragon scale while you're wearing this armor. And then I also have advantage on initiative because of the Peregrine Mask. Which also gives him a flight speed. Ha! Peregrine Mask. While wearing this helm, you have a flying speed of 60 feet. In addition, you have an advantage. So you don't even have to do an action. You just have it. I have a fly speed. I choose to fly today. That's what I'm doing. And I have an advantage on initiative rolls. And then dragon scale white armor. Scale mail. +1 to AC, advantage on saving throws against frightened and the breath weapons of dragons. And resistance to cold damage. There you go. Okay, so that's a thing. I think we have finished, except for her spells, but I don't need to. Oh, I didn't put her hit points in. That would have been bad. I need to put her hit points in. All 93 of them. Halfling. Tiny little halfling who can... Alright, let's try that one last time. You know, not great damage. Rolling kind of crap for damage, but still. Oh, I didn't turn the tracker on. Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't matter. I don't have a tracker at the moment. Alright, so we've got Rothade, our High Druid of the Godella Halflings. I should update the NPC doc, shouldn't I? That's the next thing I have to do. Godelda Halflings. High Druid thereof. Cool. And then I just need a person that I have already prepared and am all ready for, because so what I do when I'm building my character sheet and my NPC sheets that I share with, you know, if you've been here before, one of the things I do is I share NPC sheets with both players and audience members that are just Google Sheets, Google Slides, and they are there to give, like, short information to the players about who this person generally is, and perhaps some, you know, a face claim, some short information about who they are, and where you can find them. No, that's not gonna be her. And I like it because it's a good way of, I give the players the general information about that all of them know, and if they want to add, you know, if they have other notes that they think they would want to remember about them, that's for them to do and remember. I am simple. And this way I can be like, yeah, you know who this person is. It's in your sheet. And the players can go like, oh, that's who that is. I know that some of my players really enjoy it. It makes it easier for them. I think it's helpful. And that's another thing you as like a GM is a really kind of easy step to just kind of collate things that you think are going to be tied to and help you spark your imagination and help you remember things about your world, because there's a lot as a GM that you're doing to remember. You know, Ginny D did this great thing about, you know, the number of things that you're juggling as a GM when you're running a game. And one of them is, she's perfect. Can I do this? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Entirely different, but there we go. And then this way, what I do is I have that same document, or I have a version of that document. I may put more notes on that document than that are GM notes that the players can't see. But it makes it easy if I can take that same image and creation and be like, here, this is who I'm thinking of, this is how I think of them, and then I will tweak them. And perhaps I know things that you don't know. Actually, I know a lot. But this is and it's also a good way for, like I said, for GMs to keep what they're knowing about straight, because if I've got this document up to date, then I don't have to worry about whether or not, hey, you know this person or not. It's like, yeah, they're in your doc. Okay, then you do know them. So we did Rothade. We did Rothade. Who do we do next? Who do we do next? We're going west to east, so we go to the Alfred Halflings. The Alfred Halflings are... So, the Southern Duchy of Verum. Verum was created into an empire 500 years ago. Here is the Empire of Verum. When the human kingdom of Visava joined with the Dwarvish kingdom, Dwarvish city-states of Darasov and Postolav, and the mixed species kingdom of Giardin will join in the second emperor. So, like, the first emperor creates, there's an alliance between the dwarves and the humans. They create this empire. The second emperor marries the heiress of the kingdom of Giardin, which was just south of the Dwarvish Mountains, and included an area for the Alfred Halflings. It will eventually, at that point, 500 years ago, it became the Southern Duchy of Verum. And the capital of that duchy was Offerentur. But things happened, and 90 years ago, the Duke of the Southern Duchy, the Duke of the South, was executed for treason during the reign of the current emperor's grandfather. And since then, there has not been a duke in the Southern Duchy, and they didn't even promote any of the local landlords titled nobility to that dukedom, that title. And because of that, there's a lot of instability in this southern area of Verum. This whole area here between Verum and Cortel, that is, I'm pinging on the map now, is mostly, it's not uninhabited. There are a couple, like, sparse inhabitants, but it's large forested area. It's also pretty easy for a large number of bandits to kind of hang out there, perhaps some monsters. It's not controlled, and because there's no, like, stable lord in that southern duchy, there's not that instability is kind of spreading. And Cortel, which is down here, is looking north and going, can we really allow that level of instability on our border? And if you were here the other night when we were making, creating Lord Iago, I bet you have a pretty good idea of what Lord Iago's reaction to that level of instability just north of Cortel's border would be. So the Elfrin Halflings are nominally part of the Empire of Varum. They were part of the Kingdom of Giardin, which the last heiress married the second... So, like, the last heiress of Giardin married the second emperor of Varum, which brought Giardin into the Empire, and then that second emperor sent his youngest of, like, 8 sons to become the Duke there. And, you know, kind of found a cadet branch of the family, and then, you know, fast forward 400 years, and the Duke is accused of treason and executed. So, lots going on. Lots of reasons why there's some instability here. The Elfrin Halflings provide a lot of food supplies. Most of this area here is a large fertile plain, so very easy to grow crops. But the Elfrin Halflings are a little unique. Hawkeye says, senses a need to create more historic lore for his homebrew world. I mean, one of the things that I do when I'm creating a homebrew world, and I'm looking at a D&D world, and I'm looking at how things work, I look at, you know, history of our own planet. And there's layers of settlement on top of layers of settlement on top of layers of settlement. Humanity will usually live in the same areas for millennia over and over and over again, usually because they provide certain needs, right? Like transportation, food, water, defensibility. Those are your 4 big ones. Water, food, defensibility, transportation. It's why most major settlements are at rivers, junctions. You're going to have a lot of things like that. The next thing to consider is, while there'll be layers and layers of people living in the same place over and over and over again, you're also going to have layers of habitation, is what we call it in the field. You're also going to have reasons why habitation will not be there. So, like, if somebody's not living in a place where there should be people living, yeah, like Hawkeye, like the cities of Babylon and such that basically become huge mounds. Exactly. Like Rome, right? If you go to visit Rome today, you could go to the museum at the top of the Capitoline Hill, and you go around one of the buildings, because there's a plaza at the top. You go around the back of the building, and you have the view down into the Forum. And you realize that that is like 4 or 5 stories below you, and it's like 3 stories below current ground level. And that, where the Forum was ground level during the founding of Rome. And so this layers of habitation, you build up and you build up and you build up. It's like Ilium or Troy. The historical city of Troy, not counting the Iliad Trojan myths, is an actual place that you can go visit, the museum of which exists. It's in western Turkey, along the Bosphorus. If you look at where it is the perfect position to be a major trade control, a major trade port from the Mediterranean through the Bosphorus into the Black Sea. there's water, there's multiple, and you can see that there's multiple layers of habitation and multiple layers of archaeological digs that have been going on there, and there have been reason, and then you have a reason of why people are no longer living. You have to find that reason of why people are no longer living in a place that should be perfectly ideal to inhabit, you know? And in that case, there's usually a reason. It's usually violent upheaval, and there's archaeological evidence for that. If a city burns, there's archaeological evidence, there's char marks, there's burn patterns, there's post-hole fossilization is one of the coolest things in the world. So like, I'm going to be a little nerdy right now. So in archaeology circles, we know the shape of settlements for Neolithic and prehistoric buildings because of what is called post-hole archaeology. And so while everything above the ground may be gone, the post and the pole that was dug in, you know, the support for that post that was building that wall is still dug into the ground. And they're usually dug about, you know, if you want to build a fence, right? You build a fence today, a wooden fence, you need to dig the hole down far enough to get support for the post that's going to go up. Well, with concrete, that means it doesn't have to be that deep. It has to be about, you know, maybe a foot, maybe 18 inches. Before concrete, it needed to be much deeper. So they're usually about 2 feet to 3 feet, usually 3 to 4 sometimes. And so while above ground may have burned away, we still have the post that was there and in the ground, and, you know, it may rotted, but it calcified and changes, and you can actually find them and you can see them in the strata and all of these things. Exactly. So the post holes you dug as a kid might be archaeological finds someday. Yeah, and they're really useful. Like, archaeological post holes and garbage piles are some of the most useful things for archaeological sites. Because people throw things out, in close to where they live, relatively. Like, there's usually a small distance, but it's usually relatively close because people are lazy. And B, a lot of things are reused frequently and over and over and over. You know, you get a lot of that. Yeah, Ice Bunny, in some places you do have to dig 7 meters down, but sometimes you don't have to dig that far, you know, for other things. You know, people buy the refuse they produce. Exactly. And, you know, all of these are fun things. But because of that, when you start, so it is a very useful tool. So when you're considering a world building for D&D or any other TTRPG that you're playing, my recommendation is to think about the layers of people who are living there, right? Unless you are setting up that your world, the players are coming in as part of a brand new exploration / colonization, possibly, particularly if you're playing in deep space, game, and they're the first people walking on this planet, lands, then there has to be some level of previous habitation. Now, that's not to say that there has to be previous habitation everywhere, and like there are definitely going to be unexplored places and where there wasn't habitation in this game and in this world, but that's equally as important. Okay, so if there's no one who would have lived there, the question is why? What makes it uninhabitable for a previous population that would make it considerable to habitable for your current population? Was there a geological change? Like, did the river shift, which can happen naturally and actually happens pretty frequently naturally over centuries and millennia? So was the river in one place and now it's in another, and when you get here, the new place is where you're going to build your settlement, but where the old place was, you know, before the river changed, there was a settlement. When the river changed, the people that were there left. Yeah, I wonder what future archaeologists say about our piles or sorted but not reused trash. I mean, you know, there's some interesting stories that can come out. Exactly. Or the population increases, so less desirable. You need to go from a population, a more desirable location to further out into less desirable locations because you need the extra space for the population boom. All of these are things that, yes, not everyone needs to consider when they're building a world, but it can be helpful, and helps kind of coalesce what's going on. So, politically, in Varoom, right? This is Varoom. This is an empire. But it hasn't been an empire, right? For very long, at least in the historic timeline of this world. The whole continent, the whole western continent is called Endios, and the whole eastern continent is Arabia, which is now an archipelago because things went boom. And so this whole empire isn't very old in the grand scheme of things, but the people have only been living on Endios for 2,000 years. The empire is only 500 years old, and before that, this whole area south of the mountains here was the country of Giardin, and it was its own country, had a population, whatever. They've only been a member of the empire for 500 years, and even then, okay, they were an empire, but they had their own duke. They were tied politically to the empire. There were things going on. And then, 90 years ago, the duke commits treason and is executed, and there isn't a duke anymore. Okay, so what is that going to do for stability in the area? What's that going to do for the population? Those are things that you should consider, like, having fun with. Trig says, where I live used to be a lake. We Dutch just create extra land when we need space. I mean, you're not wrong. New York did it. DC did it. And at least the Dutch are building into lakes on the eastern coast of the United States. We build into swampland. Literally. So that's always the thing. So Alfred Halflings, nominally subject to Varoom, mostly existing by themselves, although there are feudal lords that are set in place by Varoom and the capital of Visava. Trig says, we don't have swamps here. I'm sure we would build on those if we did. I mean, the building on isn't... It would be about the same thing as building as you're doing. The sea can take back the land. The worst part, however, is that a swamp is not the sea. A swamp is a fetid body of water. And a non-draining body of water. Which isn't... Marshes are tidally influenced, but a swamp is not. It's just there. And, mosquitoes are evil, y'all. Just saying. So Elfren Halflings, they have feudal overlords who are installed by the Empire of Varoom, but they don't have their own, like, true feudal lord. There's a rise in banditry around. They're trying to be a major breadbasket for the Empire. There is a lot of farming further north, particularly along the river between Visava and Slagava, but there's a lot of forested area in there as well. And it's the further north you go, the colder and less production there is. The Alfred Halflings are further south. They have much more widespread plains, easier to produce. I'm thinking the head of the Alfred Halflings is, and the Alfred Halflings have started in the last 30 years, last generation really, as they've noticed 2 generations of basically being ignored by the capital in favor of purely what they can be produced, started to work together amongst themselves and started to kind of band together and form their own collectives. I also think the Alfred Halflings have perhaps a more liberal view of law, you know, are walking that line of like, there are probably thieves and criminals that we can work with because they might be considered criminals on the imperial level, but they're not really harmful to us, versus there are definitely bandits that we don't want to have to deal with because they are harmful to us and the Empire doesn't care. And I'm thinking that with these Alfred Halflings who are living here and slowly banding together in a way that perhaps might even cause a break from the Empire. Although I don't think they've ever actually, they're not there yet. I don't think they've gotten there yet. But like in the last 30 years, there's this growing collective working together in a, you know, if they won't take care of us, then we'll have to see to ourselves kind of way. We're gonna have to go through and create our next character, who I do know, and this is going to be another multi-class character, and it's another halfling, so we don't have to worry about changing that. And it will be very interesting. I'm sure you will all find them oh so interesting. Okay, so class. They are rogue and druid. Rogue druid or rogue... Yeah, rogue druid. And it's one of those, they started as a druid, you know, as this kind of generic circle of the land druid working amongst the other halflings. And then things have happened that they have needed to step up and start acting in ways, again, you know, to deal with certain criminal elements that might be harmful to them and their families and neighbors. And, you know, now they're, well, this particular rogue druid halfling will be flavored on one of my favorite characters of fiction of all time, a fluffy-haired nerf herder. Look, come on, you all want a fluffy-haired nerf herder. So, he gets 3 levels of druid and circle of the land grassland druid. Lynn knows exactly who I'm talking about now. Oh, I have to roll stats before I can before I can multi-class, because you have to show that you've got the stats for it. Actually, that's not a bad roll. 14, 16, 13, 14, 10, and 11. That's a pretty good roll. We'll keep that. We'll keep that. So we're going to go 14 wisdom, 16 dex, 14 charisma. What did I get? A 13, 10, and 11. Okay, so, and then 10 strength, 13 intelligence, and an 11 constitution. Yeah, so because you get the racial bonus for dex, so they're at an 18 dex before you do anything else, and then you have a racial bonus to charisma, so you're at a 15 for that. Yeah. We have a fluffy nerf herder. It's fine. And then add another class. Yeah, that's fine. He doesn't need to have that strength. You can be a rogue. And then a level... 14 levels of rogue. So, proficiencies in perception and insight from the druid. The bonus cantrip is gonna be... Ooh, I like the idea of it being something base. I like the idea of a rogue with a shillelagh. Yeah. A rogue with a shillelagh would be great. But we need to roll 17d8 for hit points. Or, excuse me, 16d8 plus 8. 80. That's not that great. Let's try one more time. 90. That's a little better. That's 10 better. 90. Cool. Yeah, there we go. And then the circle level spells, because they don't really... Did I specify which circle? Grassland. That's right. I did specify grassland. Which means that they get... He gets invisibility, pass without a, and invisibility and pass without a trace. Because he's only going to be a 3rd level druid, because he stopped doing druid things when he realized that there were other problems that were going on that he needed to deal with. So now we get, choose a rogue skill. I think we're gonna go, do we go stealth or acrobatics? I think we go stealth and give them expertise in perception and stealth. Sneak attack, thieves can't, cunning action, roguish archetype. Okay, now here's where we get to fun things, right? Because I think they're either... What's inquisitive? That's not what I know. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you develop a talent for picking out lies. Whenever you make a wisdom check, insight check to determine whether a creature is lying, treat the roll of 7 or lower as an 8. Eye for detail. I mean, that could work. Inquisitive could work. Mastermind. Yeah, that is the Sherlock Holmes. And I think I could see it going either way, right? I don't think he is that person. I think he's more mastermind because again, he's a fluffy-haired nerf herder. Who, you know, yes. I like that idea. I think we're gonna go mastermind. And playing cards, because cards. Gets, well, he'll probably get a, oh, well, we need to change his background. We'll go to change his background first. Because he's not a sage. He is definitely, look, I'm sorry, but we have to take smuggler. Which gives him athletics and deception. Oh, but they only let you have water smugglers? Oh, that's sad. Let's go with criminal spy. Gives him deception, and then he can also take acrobatics. Yeah, okay. Master of Intrigue. Then we'll take Dwarvish, because that's going to be really important for where he lives. And then the question is, do we take... I think we want to give him something different. We should give him... Celestial for reasons. I'm going to give him Celestial for reasons. Ability score improvement. Now, do we take a feat? So let's look at where our ability scores are right now. So 11 con, 13. So we bump intelligence and charisma this first one. Yeah, so if we bump intelligence and charisma this first one, that gives us 14 and 16. I think that works. And, well, you don't even... But no, Pope doesn't need the lucky feat. Doesn't need lucky feat because he is a halfling rogue. He already he's a Lightfoot halfling. He already is lucky. Right? You know, he's gonna have expertise in insight and deception. This second ability score increase is just gonna be straight dex, the dex boost. The third one here is gonna be a feat. Hello, Lone, welcome in. Boba Fett strongly believes they have rerolls. Look, Boba Fett is not a fluffy-haired nerf herder. In fact, he's not a fluffy-haired at all, at least currently. Ice Bunny, my spoken Italian is yes. My written and my reading of Italian is better. My spoken Italian is heavily dialectic, which I grew up speaking Sicilian, so in it the languages are not they're similar. Because remember, of course, Italian isn't a standardized language until Mussolini basically imposes the Tuscan dialect on the nation as the official language of the government and what people learn in school, but people still learn oh, the blue one? I don't know that one, Ice Bunny. I spent a lot of time Pufo. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's blue milk. Um, so Bountiful Luck is... I mean, Bountiful Luck could work. So, luck for themselves because they're a Lightfoot halfling, and then Bountiful Luck for them for whatever they want, because when an ally you can see within 30 feet of you rolls a 1 on a d20 for an attack, ability check, or saving throw, you can use your reaction to let that ally replay. Oh, so then you can't use your individual lucky trait before the end of your next turn. I'm okay with. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Reliable talent. Whenever you make an ability check that lets you add your proficiency bonus, you can treat a d20 of 9 or lower as a 10. Yes, go chocolate. Chocolate is always better. Or stracciatella. If they have stracciatella. Which is like, or fiore di panna. Fiore di panna is the best. Stracciatella is chocolate chip. So do we take another feat, or do we go boost the ability score again? I think we go with another feat. I'm feeling like that's the way to go with this character. And I think do we give them mobile so that they can mobile could be dope on a halfling rogue druid. Or do we get... No, second chance. This is the one we need. When a creature you see hits you with an attack roll, you can use a reaction to force that creature to re-roll. Once this use this ability, you can't use it again until you roll initiative at the start of combat or until you finish a short or long rest. Okay. But I think maybe mobile. Do we go mobile or second chance? Yeah, so that's what the one that's up. Second chance. Fortune favors you. Or mobile, which you are exceptionally speedy and agile. It increases your walking speed by 10 feet, which as a halfling is good because you go from 25 to 35. And you make the dash action, which as a rogue you can make as a bonus action. So when you take a dash, difficult terrain doesn't affect your movement. And when you make a melee attack, after you attack someone, you can draw opportunity attacks. I think mobile is gonna go for this. Bob and weave. Yeah, I like this mobile. Misdirection. Beginning at 13th level, you can sometimes cause another creature to suffer an attack meant for you. When you are targeted by an attack, while a creature within you 5 feet of you is granting you cover against that attack, you can use your reaction, which is great because as a halfling, as a Lightfoot halfling, you can hide behind bigger creatures in the same square. And then blind sense. Yeah, I'm liking this build. This is our fluffy nerf herder. Our fluffy nerf herder is kind of pretty cool. He gets dice, of course, and then a tool proficiency. Something interesting and just off the wall. Navigator's tools. For reasons, right? There are reasons he gets navigator's tools. He gets any simple weapon. He is going to get a sling or a dagger. They do the same damage, but a sling is easier to hide, particularly if you were a druid. He is going to get, go with a scimitar, because those are fun. Sprig of mistletoe, fine, whatever. Add starting equipment, that's fine. Cool. Now let's give him fun things. We should give our fluffy nerf herder, who, we all know his name, right? You all know his name. He's gonna have armor. It's gonna be magical armor of some sort. Yeah, you're right. It has to be a hand crossbow. He has to have a hand crossbow. We'll add that in a minute. But here's the thing. So he can have mithril. We're not going to give him anything that would add. I think giving him mithril, but we'll give it a +1 mithril. Technically. We can give him half plate, mithril half plate. This suit of magical armor is made from shimmering scales. While wearing it, you can apply your full dexterity modifier instead of a maximum of +2 when determining your armor class. In addition, this armor does not impose disadvantage on... Yeah, we'll give him serpent scale. He has serpent scale armor. And he's gonna get a hand crossbow. Where? He's gonna get a weapon. Hand... Not armor. Hand... Wait, what? Is he not technically... He is technically proficient in crossbows because he's a rogue, right? Is he not... Do they not give you fancy crossbows anymore? Am I crazy? Like... Hey Diesel Shot, welcome in. We are building out NPCs for my homebrew world. Yeah, so Diesel, so it would fall under... Okay, so this has to be what it is. That because, yeah, the map, this map is for, was actually, so you will appreciate this, Diesel. This is my attempts at being artistic in Roll20 with a mouse. And then this is my player's attempt at being much more artistic than I am. Trig, who's also in chat, has also been working on a version of the map, and they are fabulous, and thank you so much. I'm posting them on Twitter, and I retweet them when they come up. So, yeah, I think they're limiting you to what they're proficient in. So if I get rid of the proficiency, does that let me have... Here we go. Yeah, if I have to take proficiency off of it. Alright, that makes more sense. Which is stupid, because they are... Diesel says, oh, that's me and Pat. I recolored a dragon that's common domain, and then Pat knocked out an amazing version within an hour of totally original. Yeah. Yeah. I respect everybody. Yeah, so I'm thinking it's just because I built this character as a multi-class NPC, and because D&D Beyond is weird, they aren't letting you get the proficiency from the fact that they were a druid and then became a rogue. Yeah, no, they're... Okay, so... Do I give him a +3 hand crossbow? Or do I give him a... What's a dragon wing hand crossbow? The limb tips of this magic bow are shaped like dragon's wings, and the weapon is infused with the essence of chromatic gem or metallic dragon's breath. When you hit with an attack roll this magic bow, the target takes an extra d6 damage of the same type as the... Okay, look. He is getting a dragon wing hand crossbow, and it's going to be from a red dragon because it's fire. So I can keep the theme of this. I probably will, because I'm copying and pasting them manually into Roll20, so I'll be able to just add it. It'll be fine. And I'm tweaking things anyways. So they'll do a d6 plus a d6 fire damage. That will be what it is. And then we need something interesting. So he's got the serpent scale armor. Oh, well, Diesel Shot, he's a fluffy nerf herder. You know? Literally. Fluffy nerf herder. So we were talking about how this particular area where this particular halfling that I'm making comes from is currently beset by certain political tensions and a large rising amount of criminal enterprise and lack of oversight because their feudal 90 years ago their direct feudal lord, the Duke of the area, was arrested and executed for treason, and the Empire is like, we're not actually going to promote anyone to that title anymore. So there's a lot of political upheaval, but there's also a lot of rise of criminal activity. So he was a druid, and now he's in the mastermind business. So it's like, yeah, it's literally a fluffy-headed nerf herder. So we've given him armor and a weapon, and I like giving, interesting items to, my, NPCs, that can be just, does he have minions? Yes, he has minions. He has and I'm going to have to build his minion, his best friend next. Dear minions, perhaps. Yes, exactly. Alright. Magical, I think we give him... we give him something fun, right? I figure we'll go into the... blues. No, because he already has the mobile, so that's not going to work. To give him a Cloak of Displacement. Can you picture this as a Cloak of Displacement? They have disadvantage on attack rolls. We go Cloak of Displacement. That could be interesting with a rogue. And with mobile. Damn, that would be fun. Actually, no, let's look at... We haven't looked at rings lately. Let's look at a ring. What have we got for rings? Rings of resistance, ring of protection, spell storing, telekinesis, regeneration, shooting stars. Nah. What about the rods? What have the rods got? Immovable rod, rod of rulership. Rod of security. Nah, I don't think so. I like the ring idea. I think... Ring of Truth-Telling? That could work. Ring of Truth-Telling. Or... a... Or do we give him a Ring of Invisibility? Look, he's a smuggler with stealth expertise. He doesn't need a Ring of Invisibility. I was thinking perhaps... Cloak of Displacement. Yes, we can take Jarlaxle's eye patch, which is what the Knave's eye patch is. It's advantage on perception checks, unsensitivity doesn't work, and immune to magic that allows other creatures to read your thoughts or determine whether you're lying. Yeah, I don't think he needs that one. I like the idea of a Cloak of Displacement or Mantle of Spell Resistance. He's got a Mantle of Spell Resistance. Yeah, there we go. That's what he's got. Those are the 3 magic items he's got. There we go. Boom. Like a boss. Inventory. Attune. Attune. Doesn't have to attune to that. So he's got a 19 armor class. He's got advantage against frightened, advantage against spells, saving throws. He's got a dex. He's got a passive perception of a 24 and a passive insight of a 24. Yeah, he gonna be a great little halfling rogue druid. Rothade goes into Noviger. Gonna have to move Rothade into Noviger. There we go. And then, technically, this one goes in Varoom. Technically. We know his name, though, right? His name is Han. We all knew his name was Han. He's a fluffy-haired nerf herder. Create an NPC. Han is just his name. He's a halfling. His armor class is 19. Because he's got, Serpent Scale. Armor. He's got 90 hit points, because he's not bad. What's his speed, though? His speed is 35 feet. That's actually pretty good, particularly for a halfling, which starts at 25, because he's got mobile. 10, 20, 11, 14, 14, 16. Like, and like any well-done fluffy-haired nerf herder, he is more charismatic than he is wise. Acrobatics is plus 11. Spell saving throws is plus 0. Plus 5. And he's not even technically like, here's the thing, he would be... What are the... Okay, I need to go check the rules for something. Rules for multi-class. Rules. Multi-classing. Okay, would temporary stat bump. Okay. Do you gain proficiency and more saving throws multiclassing? A class offers various starting proficiency that you get in first class. If your class isn't your first, you only get the starting proficiencies listed in that multiclassing. No saving throw proficiencies are included. Okay. So... So they're saying you wouldn't get proficiency in, according to the multi-classing, official multi-classing rules, you wouldn't get proficiency in additional weapons if you add rogue later, which I think is stupid. Yes, he is going to get a big fluffy sidekick. I don't know that I agree with some of these. I'm going to, but it's an NPC, so I can do what I want. warning, I'm a GM. This is my game. I do what I want. He has proficiency in this. So he's not gonna get... would it break it if I did that? No, it wouldn't, because... not quite. Hawkeye. You know what? Yes, he does. I'm tweaking things on the fly because I can. And, you know, it's not game breaking when my players are level 14 to add additional proficiencies to an NPC. Okay. I just feel that sometimes people don't consider the fact that no. His sidekick will be very intelligent. And possibly the publicly more intelligent of the two, which is a very important distinction. Investigation, medicine, nature, perception, performance, persuasion, religion, and sleight of hand, and stealth. Yes, indeed, he is very stealthy. Perhaps they do not speak common, this is true. Is a spellcasting, has bonus actions, has reactions. His spellcasting is wisdom. His magic caster level is 3. Global magic modifier for spells is +8 for the spell attack. For the oh, that's gonna mess that up. I have to go back and change all of my spellcasters. Oh, that'll be a pain in the butt. I'll fix that later. Alright. Cool. Cool. Inventory. He has the dragon wing hand crossbow. I'm saying he is proficient in it. So that's an actions. It's an attack. So if it's an attack with proficiency, it is a ranged attack, and it has a 30 feet to 120 feet range. To hit is a +10, and on a hit it does 1d6 plus 5 1d6 plus 5 piercing, and then an additional 1d6 fire damage because fire. Does it give him anything else? Oh yeah, and he doesn't need ammunition for it, so that's even better. That's even better. Like, he doesn't need ammunition for this dragon ring hand crossbow that he is proficient in because I say so. There you go. 7 piercing and 2 fire damage. Attack actions. And his shillelagh is his bonus. I'm not putting in spells at the moment. Actions. Wild shape. Come here, wild shape. He can wild shape. There we go. Which means I need to find more things. Bonus actions. Cunning action. Cunning action is great. You can take a bonus action to dash, disengage, or hide each of your turns if you choose not to. Master of Tactics. You can bonus action help. Yay. Reaction. Reactions are great. Bountiful luck. I can, when an ally is having a problem, I'm gonna, and because I want to, I can get rid of this. I'm gonna tweak it a little bit because it's my character, they're my NPCs. They don't have to be perfect to the actual character build. As we noticed when I made +2 adamantine. Try and hit Lord Iago now. Uncanny dodge. Wait, doesn't he have evasion by now? Features and traits. Class features. Yes, evasion, thank you. I was like, he has to have evasion by this point. Oh yeah, that's right. It's a saving. It doesn't count as a reaction. It just is. You don't have to worry about spending your reaction to do it. You just have it. Reliable talent. Reliable talent is one of my other favorite rogue abilities. I love rogues. I love rogues and clerics, and which is why one of my favorite character builds of all time for a 10th level character was a 50-50 split of rogue cleric. Rogue assassin and grave cleric. There you go. That was a fun combination. So what is everyone's favorite multi-class? I guess it should be a question I should ask people today. What is your favorite multi-class? Oh yeah, that's right. He has blind sense. Blind sense for 10 feet. Passive perception is a 24. Like, he's got wonderful perception. Passive investigation is a 12. Passive insight is a 24. So Lynn says Ranger Rogue. Hawkeye says my current Hexblade Warlock Paladin. Hexadin. There you go. That's a good one. Ice Bunny says they like everything that can do magic. I like a lot of Celestial, Common, Druidic, Dwarvish, Halfling, and Thieves. Can't. For spells, the proficiency bonus is +6. Okay. Pope says Barbarian Fighter. That could be interesting. Lone says, I play a Cleric Paladin in Winter's Reign, a Pathfinder campaign. I mean, that could be fun too. Inventory. Nope. Actions. I have a Mantle of Spell Resistance. So he gets advantage on saving throws against spells. Any spell. Oh, that's why it didn't show up. It's because it isn't officially attuned. There we go. Now it's attuned. Now you have advantage against being frightened and advantage against being against spells. I don't think I put the racial ones in yet. I didn't do the racial one yet. And no disadvantage on stealth checks. Ugh. Bennett, great. Greg set up a wild set of patrons for him. That sounds like it was a lot of fun. Greg, I love Greg. And Greg is one of my favorite GMs that I've always will love to play with. And I, you know, hopefully I will sit across the table from him again. And they are lucky because they are Lightfoot Halfling. Halfling luck. They are brave. They have advantage against frightened because they have halfling nimbleness, which means they can move through a space of another creature that is size larger than you, which is pretty much everything except tiny. Also enjoys Bard Barbarian Hawkeye. That's gonna be fun. I mean, that's why the Durakan Orcs have the largest and most famous Bard festival. Oh, that sounds, you know, a lot of fun. And you are naturally stealthy, which means you can try to hide. You can attempt to hide even when you're obscured only by a creature that is at least one size larger than you, which means you can walk through someone else's square and hide in their square, which I have done. It is hilarious, and you're like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Yes, there is a Bard Fest, Lynn. Are you is your have you, I guess the question is, you know, do we know anyone who's performed at Bard Fest? I should give him another weapon, shouldn't I? Didn't I give him a dagger? I gave him a scimitar. Which I feel like he deserves a magical close quarters weapon. So I'm gonna give him a magical close quarters weapon. Weapon, magical scimitar. Yeah, no, he's not a Sith, so that's not a thing that's happening. Scimitar of life stealing. Oh no, I'm gonna give him a scimitar of life stealing. There we go. That seems on brand. There we go. Attack. Melee. 5 feet. So now he has a ranged weapon and a close-in weapon. And it, to hit, it is a plus 11 to hit. There we go. Yeah, because it's going to be the same. No, it should be the same. It's also a plus 11. There we go. I did math wrong. I can math. And on a hit, it does 1d6 plus 5 slashing, and it has finesse, so you can use it as a strength or dex. And then when you roll a 20, the target takes an additional 10 necrotic damage and you get 10 hit points. There you go. Crit with that. Alright. So that is, I believe, our fluffy nerf herder. Cool. Cool. I am all for this. Alright. So that is our fluffy nerf herder. Short the spells. I'm not putting any of the spells in on purpose. Welcome in. Thank you for that follow, Gifted Gabby. Why is my alert? Oh, because I muted my alert box. That would be a problem. I was like, why am I not hearing this? I am doing well. I am doing well. Thank you. Working on some campaign prep and building and setting up for our soon-to-be D&D epic level campaign that I'm going to be running on the channel. It will be, premiere is July 30th. It'll be so much fun. I've been doing a bunch of these streams, and so if you want to check them out, any of the earlier ones, they're all on YouTube, because I have one of those. It exists. Also where I put all of the VODs for all of the games that I run or that run on the channel. So, you know, that's a thing. So we've done Godella, we've done Elfrin. We need to do we need to do Han's friend. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We need to do Han's friend, who is a special person. Okay, so we got all of that. Yeah, and I don't care about, because they're an NPC, I don't care about things, other things. But, so let's go ahead and build our Han's friend, the second in command for this group of halflings that are kind of trying to deal with, you know, political problems, all of these kind of things. So the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to change race because they're not a halfling. And go with Bugbear Chewy. I think no. I think the options are, based on the way I built this world, I'm thinking the options are a half-orc, sort of Gift of Gabby. The players are starting at level 14. So instead of being a level 20 and plop up, it's starting at level 14 and then probably getting to level 20. What is generally known as the tier 3, tier 4 campaigns. Because of that, I'm calling it the epic levels because it's just most games that stream don't stream, particularly with 5e, don't stream above 10. Or they stop, or they fizzle out for some reason. So I'm thinking either yeah, Firbolg would have the size right, but at the same time, Han is also a halfling, so it doesn't need to be quite that tall. I'm thinking either orc, half-orc, which could be interesting, based on the way I built this world. Actually, no, the orc thing would be great based on the way I built this world. No, he's an orc. Yeah. Yeah. He's an orc. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing okay. Yes, yes. So one of the things when I built this world, I went back to, so for those of you who haven't hung out with us before, thank you for the host. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we are set. I set off with we had some problems with a couple of hate bot raids, and because of that, I had to shut down a bunch of the raid setups. Hopefully soon I'll be better to fix that, but I don't want to have to. That was a big mess in the middle of a game. But I appreciate the host and the follow, and I appreciate you coming in and giving us. And I thank you for that. Yeah, it was a fun time. But hopefully soon it won't happen again and I can loosen things up. But so I'm doing some world building for this campaign that I'm going to be running. And one of the things I did, just going to save this and then close it for a second. This beautiful map, which was done by one of my players off my much less beautiful version. I can show you my much less beautiful version. This is my much less beautiful version. I did it with a mouse in Roll20. Roll20 is great. I am not artistically inclined, at least in this venue, on this medium. But one of the things I did is there's a lot of history and build up, and when the war between evil wizards and good wizards and the evil wizards used a bunch of chromatic dragons to basically create a super volcano nuclear bomb and destroy the entire continent. When that happened, they had taken a bunch of during this war that they were fighting, they had I had gone back to the original. I wanted to go back to Tolkien definitions of certain race species, and I want to specify that species isn't important here because humans and turtles can't interbreed. Turtles and minotaurs can definitely not interbreed, so that they're not races. They're definitely species because biology is different. But because these wizards had, the elves were inherently magical and were inherently magical, and they are truly immortal in the sense that they don't age and they don't die of illness or and they don't or old age, and they only die of violence or grief. I wanted to go back to that definition of science in your D&D equals frustration. I mean, I enjoy it. I wanted to go back to that definition of the truly immortal elves, and then go back to that same definition of orcs as as beings that were elves and then taken and twisted into something else. And then I wanted to fast forward and see what would happen. So orcs in my world were taken and created as as one of the former types of elves, and twisted by evil wizards into being shock troops for this war that led to the destruction of an entire continent. And because of that, the orcs that are now exist after 2 millennium, literally 2,000 years of evolution, have some ties, are still technically a magical creature. They can still technically interbreed with elves and humans because of their starting creation, but they have other things, and one of the things I gave them is a racial rage trait that was created by these wizards that which a player who plays an orc can, how did I phrase it? And the rage feat of racial feat of rage, which applies to all classes. Rage in orcs can occur outside of their control during extreme emotion or stress. In any combat situation, an orc must make a wisdom saving throw at the beginning of combat or whenever they take damage to determine if they are overtaken by the rage. If they choose to rage at the end of the combat, they must make another wisdom saving throw to come out of the rage. Yeah, Gabby, so that's actually a good one. Gabby says, my main setting is post-magic nukes to before the bombs. It was magic spaceships colonizing other planets before the apocalypse. Yeah, sometimes that just happens. They weren't quite that advanced. They weren't spacefaring, space jamming yet, but they were, you know, relatively stable, productive, major arcana. They didn't feel a need to advance that far. There are other reasons that things were going. So, because of that, there is a racial trait for rage, which, remember how I said the character we had just built for this Alfred Halflings is a fluffy-haired nerf herder who is, when we built Han, and he is 3 levels of druid and 14 levels of rogue, halfling rogue. Lots of fun with that. And now his buddy is going to be an orc with a rage problem. So, you know, that's going to be a thing. Okay, so let's see. Creature type, humanoid, size, medium, speed, 30, adrenaline rush. You can take the dash action as a bonus action. You can use this trait a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all okay. Long rest. Oh, temporary hit points. That actually makes sense. Dark vision. Cool. Powerful build. Carrying capacity. Endless endurance. Yes, endless endurance is great. Alright, so the rest of that's fine. We're going to get rid of these abilities. We're going to clear the I'm just going to put the rage in the manually when I import them into Roll20. But class. Well, first we gotta roll stats, because as we have found, Roll20 doesn't like us when we roll stats in, or, excuse me, Roll20 likes us just fine when we roll stats for our NPCs, but D&D Beyond is not liking us, because reasons, I guess. We're not going to hurt the nerfs. They're just, you know, being hurted. Hurting doesn't hurt the nerfs. You know. Wow, that is horrible rolls, and we're gonna re-roll those stats because it's an NPC. I don't care. That's better. That's a lot better. 12, 16, 13. So first thing we have to decide is what class are they? And I think are they actually a barbarian, or are they a No, it's Chewy, and from everything we know about him, not a druid, sorry, wrong button. Fighter. Battle Master Fighter. With rage. Yeah, there we go. Battle Master Fighter. So, 17 and 16. 17, 16... 13, 12, 13, 12, 10, 10. There we go. There we go. And then give them an ability score increase. When determining your character's ability, you increase one score by 2 and increase a different score by 1 or 3. Okay, so we'll go 2 and 1. 1. Have a good one, Pope. So we will boost con. Wait. Oh. Is it 3 ones? Is that it? Okay, so we'll go con and strength. Or do we go, yeah, con and strength. Increase one of these scores by 2 and one of these scores by 1. So, strength by 2, con by 1. Or do we do dex by 1? Because that'll give us 14, 16. Yeah, I like that idea better. Okay, no. Let's do 1, 1, 1. Alright, so let's do dex, strength, and well, you can take it a second time, so we're going to take it a second time. So, there we go. It doesn't matter. That's what we're doing. Alright, so they are a level 18 fighter, 18d10, or 17d10 plus 10. Plus 10. 97. That doesn't seem like it will boost the way we want. Let's see what that does, mathematically speaking. That only brings us below average, so what we're gonna re-roll. 121 is a lot better. That brings it to 175. The max you could get is 234. But it's probably gonna get more hit points when we boost con again. Yeah, we'll keep that. We'll keep that. Alright, so proficiencies. Oh wait, description, he is also a criminal? Actually, no, he's technically a folk hero. Ha ha ha. Right, folk hero, no, he's a soldier. He's a soldier. Wait, no, not sailor. Soldier. Soldier. There we go. Soldier. And dice. Because he was a soldier. And we're going to give him orc. Because there, you know, there's lots of reasons why he doesn't speak local languages. Fighter skill. He's got athletics and intimidation from soldier, so we're going to give him insight and perception or survival. I think it's going to go perception. Fighting style, sorry, great weapon. Great weapon fighting. All the way. Martial archetype. Battle master or champion. So if we go champion, he gets improved critical. Plus the rage feat. Yeah. Yeah. We go champion. Yeah. Champion. Great weapon master. Feat. And then we give him great weapon master. On your turn, when you score a critical hit with a melee weapon or reduce a creature to 0 point. Yeah, so great weapon master. Yeah, give him great weapon master. That works. Extra attack, an ability score improvement. So let's see where our abilities are at. So let's bump strength to 20. And then con to 17. Or actually, we can take a feat to get to 20. So let's bump con. Let's take a feat and either, what do we think, resilient for strength? I mean, he already has proficiency in that saving throw, right? Yeah. Give him tough. And what does that give us for abilities? So that's 19, 18, 14, 12, 10, 10. He's got more, an additional fighting style. Let's give him protection or interception. Doesn't he have great weapon fighting? He has great weapon fighting. He doesn't need to take it twice. Blind fighting might be a thing, right? Give him blind sight within 10 feet. Or protection, I think. Or superior technique. Yeah, let's give him superior technique. You can take the ability score. We'll take strength. And then we can bump intelligence just because. Ability score. Take another feat. What's Crusher? Oh, wait, hold on. Why don't we do that instead? We take that feat and then we take Crusher. Some blind sight sounds like using the Force. Yeah, and he doesn't use the Force. He is not a strength boost. Okay, so now that gives him 20 strength, 18 con. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And with Crusher, boost to strength. Once per turn, you can hit a creature with an attack that deals bludgeoning damage. You can move 5 feet into an unoccupied space, provided the target is no more than one size larger than you. You can shove it. And then when you score a critical hit that deals bludgeoning damage to a creature, attack rolls against that creature are made with advantage until the start of your next turn. That works. Give them both. Ability score improvement for con. And then superior critical, so 18 to 20. Let's see, is there another feat we want to give him? It's Martial Adept. No. Ooh, Sentinel. I think Sentinel or Savage Attacker. No. I think Sentinel or... Wait, Slasher. Okay, no, we'll go back to which one is it. So here. It's... Instead of Crusher, he's a Slasher because he's not going to do crushing weapon. He's got, he is a great weapon master, so it's going to be slashing is going to be what it is versus crushing versus bludgeoning. So he's going to get slashing. Very protective of his little friend. Yes, he is. He's very protective of his little friend. And I think that's an important thing to be. So then we'll boost strength that way. And then this one, where are we at ability score-wise? So now we've got 20 strength, 20 constitution, 14, 12, 10, 10. Okay, so we'll leave the ability scores alone, and we'll take a last feat. I think Tavern Brawler. Tavern Brawler be a good one? No. Weapon Master. Well, he already has, I mean, he's a fighter, so he doesn't need it. Weapon Master is like, if you're already, Wait, can we give him a mobile? No, no. Mage Slayer? Or Heavy Armor Master? Heavily armored. No. Durable? Nah. Alert? Oh yeah, we'll give him alert. +5 to initiative. Other creatures don't gain advantage on attack rolls. There we go. And he's also a survivor. Start of your turns, you regain... At the start of each of your turns, you regain hit points equal to 5 plus your con mod if you have no more than half of your hit points left. You don't gain this benefit if you have 0 hit points. Mage Slayer could be interesting, but I don't think he went Mage Slayer. Alert makes the more sense. So now he's at 247. If we bump this by 3, so 124, makes it 250, because I like round numbers. Cool. I like this. I like this build. And then he's a powerhouse. Starting equipment. Chainmail. 2 martial weapons. He's gonna have either a greatsword or a great axe. Or a double-bladed scimitar. Dagger, dice, doesn't matter. Okay, so we're just double checking because we gave him champion. He's got fighting style is great weapon fighting, and then his great weapon master. Yeah, so any of these two-handed weapons would work. So equipment, let's give him some... First, we're going to give him armor. It's going to be magical. It will be... I think I know exactly which armor I want to give him. Yeah, no, not immune to our damage, but let's give him +3 plate. Yeah, let's give him +3 plate. Let's give him a big-ass weapon. using the word great in front of it. So a defender greatsword, the first time you take an action... No, that doesn't seem right. I don't think he gets a Holy Avenger either. Great Sword of Sharpness. When you attack an object with this magical sword and hit the maximize the weapon damage dice against the target, when you attack a creature with this weapon and roll a 20 on the attack roll, then that target takes an extra 14 slashing damage. Then roll another d20. If you roll a 20 on top of that, one of the target's limbs with the... You lop off one of the target's limbs with the effect of loss. Such loss... The creature has no limb to sever. You lop off a portion of its body instead. In addition, you can speak the spirit sword's command word to cause the blade to shed bright light. Look! He's carrying around an old lightsaber. Yes. And lastly, I think he gets a ring. What kind of ring should we give him? Something fun, right? Ring of Evasion. Something fun. I think we give him just a straight up ring of limb removing? No, he's got the blade for that. We give him a ring. We give it, maybe not a ring. Maybe, something wondrous. What do we want to give him? We give him something wondrous that's fun. An enchanted bandolier? I mean, we would want one, right? We would want one, right? Yeah, that's a bandolier, would be called. Why don't we just look at what we get for belts? Because I don't think they have some really good ones anymore. Belt of Dwarven kind. Well, he doesn't need that. We could just give him a belt of Storm Giant Strength. Yeah, we'll just give him a belt of Storm Giant Strength. There you go. Here you go, Chewy. You are... Use, wield. There you go. Inventory. Attune. Attune. He doesn't have to attune to that, but now his armor class is at 21, his strength is in +9, and he has a Greatsword of sharpness. Yeah. I think he's here to do damage. His initiative is a +10. Well, you know. Oh, he has disadvantage on stealth rolls. I don't think he stealths. Do you think he stealths? Does anyone think that Chewie stealthed? Ever? No. Yeah, we'll just have him wear it like a bandolier. It's fine. No, that was what I wanted. Damn it. There we go. Doop. Stop. Come. There. Cool. Alright. Chewy. He is a, orc. Plus he gets, because here's the thing, I'm giving him the racial rage feat, which is going to do some interesting things. His armor class is a 21, because he's got a +3. He's got a +3, plate armor. Right? Just straight +3? Yeah. His hit points are 250. Cause... damn. His speed is 30 feet. His attributes are a 29, a 14. Like, he's not overly dexterous, but he's not horribly undexterous. He's got a 20 con, he's got a 12 intelligence, and then 10 and 10. I feel like this is a very balanced NPC. Yes, he doesn't need stealth. He is the anti-stealth. You don't invite Chewie if you want stealth. He's got a +15 strength. He's got a +2 dex. He's got a +11 con. He's got a +1 intelligence, +0 for wisdom, and +0 for charisma. He's got dark vision for 60 feet. He's got common and orc. It's his languages. He's got passive perception at a 16. He's got a passive investigation at 11. He's got a passive insight at 16. Because, you know, he is insightful. He's just much more beefy. Arcana +1. He remembers things. +15. +0. +1. Insight. +6. Intimidation. No. Sorry. He gets a +15 14 to his intimidation because it's not actually going to be using, we're going to use the alternate rule because he doesn't need to be charismatic to be intimidating. He can use his strength to be intimidating. And since he's got a +9, I feel like Chewie should be intimidating, right? That's a trait of the character that he should have. Investigation +1, medicine +0, nature +1, perception +6, performance +0, persuasion +0, religion +1, sleight of hand +5, dex, stealth is +5, doesn't matter, and survival is +0. Chewie objects to this stereotyping. I shall roar as any sucking dove. He growls, translated from Wookiee, obviously. True. This is how it's how you win chess. Yes, but only if you don't know him. This is also true. He's very intimidating if you don't know him, or he doesn't like you. One of those two things. Let the Wookiee win. Known to rip arms off of people. +6. How do I boost his initiative? Has bonus actions, has reactions. Okay. Have a good one, Lone. Have a good night. We'll probably be here for... We're just finishing, Elfrin. After we finish Chewie, I might take a break, though. For a short while. Because you gotta stretch and all that good stuff. Alright, so... Actions. Let's go with his attack actions. Because he has them. He has a great... Sword of Sharpness. It is an attack. Wahahaha. Do not show. Hide. Put all of them. He does lots of damage to you. Melee, 5-foot reach on a hit, which is 2 hit is a +15. On one target. On a hit, it does 2d6 +9 slashing. An additional on a crit does an additional 14 slashing. And then you re-roll to see if you slash off body parts. I'm here for this. Cool. He can unarmed attack. Bonus action. Adrenaline rush. You can dash as a bonus action up to 6 times per long rest when you use this trait. Equal to your proficiency bonus. Cool. Great weapon master attack. So, you know. Cool. On your turn, when you score a critical hit with a melee weapon or reduce a creature to 0 hit points with one, you may make one melee weapon attack as a bonus action. Before you make a melee attack with a heavy weapon that you are proficient in, you can choose to take a -5. All of the good things. All of the good things, because, you know... Second wind are we adding into our, you know, personification of Chewie, because... Why not? Turn... Let's get longer short rest. Okay, so 15 hit points. Reactions, opportunity attacks, other. Action surge. That's gonna go over here because it's technically an action. Action surge. Additional action on your turn, which, you know, is great if you've got like 15 attacks, because that would be a thing that he could do. Extra attack. So stop and think about this, right? If you can attack 3 times whenever you take the attack action on your turn. If you kill anyone in those 3 attacks, you make a bonus melee attack. No, on your turn when you score a critical hit with a melee weapon, or reduce a creature to 0 hit points. So either you kill someone or you score a crit, you get a bonus attack. You can make one melee, you can make it a bonus melee attack. And then you can have like 4 rolls here going. You can do that. He can be slicing and dicing. He can almost as much as Lord Iago can. Relentless endurance. Did I put that in there already yet? No. Yeah, if you take the -5, so here's the thing. If you take the -5 penalty to the attack roll, and then if it hits, you do 10 extra damage. Well, here's the thing. He could probably do that because his attack roll is a +15. So if he takes the -5, he's still rolling a +10 to hit. And then it does a massive amount of damage. Dominable I used. Relentless endurance. Then he gets the slasher critical hit bonus. So once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack that deals slashing damage, you can reduce this. When you score a critical hit that deals slashing damage to a creature, you grievously wound it. Until the start of your next turn, the target has disadvantage on all attack rolls. So there's that. Then there's slasher critical hit, and then there's the slasher, other portion of slasher that we gave him, which is reduce speed. So once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack that deals slashing damage, you reduce that target by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. So there you go. go down to feats. He's tough. Hit point increases by 36. Because, yeah. Alert. He gets a +5 bonus. +5 to initiative. Can't be surprised while conscious. And other creatures don't gain advantage on attack rolls against you as a result of being unseen. Like, even if they're, like, I can't be surprised, so they can't get the bonus for critical, you know, plus that. Oh yes, superior critical. Your weapons attacks score critical on an 18 or 20, so anything that previously said when you roll a 20 means now when you roll an 18, because that counts as a crit for this. And then survivor, which is just dope as hell. You're a survivor. At the start of each of your turns, you regain 10 HP, plus 10 HP, because it's 5 plus your plus your con mod. If you have no more than half your hit points left, you don't regain this benefit if you have 0 hit points. So if you drop below half of your hit points, you are constantly getting back 10 hit points around. Yeah. This is a wonderful, wonderful, dope-ass, fighter who will literally mess your life up. So let's see his Greatsword of Sharpness. So that's a 15. Does 12 slashing damage, and you can choose, that rolled really poorly. So the crit is the only time that you would get the 14 is if you crit. But he would crit on an 18 or higher, which is a 33, so would take 16 slashing damage, 14 slashing damage. You roll another d20. Nope, he is not dismembered. But you did roll a crit, so you get your Great Weapon Master attack. So you'd have another 2 attacks, plus, oh, they're now grievously wounded until the start of the next turn, because it's a crit. They wouldn't be able to, they have disadvantage on all attack rolls. And you could reduce you hit them, so they're going to reduce their speed. And, on top of that, you're going to roll 2 more general attacks. And then, your bonus attack. Here's your bonus attack. So that's 15. Wait, doesn't Great Weapon Master... Hold on. Doesn't Great Weapon Master get... Yes, great weapon fighting. You get to reroll 1s and 2s on damage. I was like, there's another thing he gets that makes him basically, like, you don't want to fight him. It's you can reroll 1s and 2s. So, that's a 1, so you reroll 1d6. So 5 and 5 is 10, plus 9 is 19 slashing damage. Wow, he would slice and dice you. As he should, because he is chewy. There we go. Alright, so now we've finished with the Alfred Halflings that we were going to do. I think it's now, we've been going for a while. It is now 5 o'clock. What I'm going to say is we should take a break, and unfortunately I have a couple things I have to do this afternoon. So what I'm gonna say then is we go ahead and I'll sign off for now. I might come back later this evening. I don't know. It's 5 o'clock. I gotta do some things. And we've going for almost 4 hours. So I might come back this evening. I don't know, but we'll find out. If I do, well, if you're a follower here, you will know because you'll get your notifications. Ring the little bell thingy. If not, follow my Twitter because I was posting where I'm going to be and fun, wonderful folks I get to hang out with. If I don't see you later this evening, depending on how I feel, we'll definitely be back tomorrow with episode 4 of Zweihander the Long Retreat. Things are getting interesting. There is a bunch of undead following us. It is a thing. We need to run. And until next time, we should send some love. And I think we should go raid Eugenio. We're gonna go raid Eugenio, DM Jazzy Hands, because we haven't raided Eugenio in a while, and send some love Eugenio's way. But I hope you'll join us on July 30th when we have the premiere of A Song of Agapio's Future, and that will be the premiere of this campaign. I am so looking forward to it. I'm so excited. I'm glad my players are excited. Until next time, everybody. Bye-bye.